Hello students, good morning. Today our topic of discussion is Introduction to ISO 9000 and TQM. In this session we will discuss concept of quality systems, quality assurance, ISO 9000 series of standards, Indian standards, total quality management. So in this topic the basic points what we will discuss is what is quality, what is the need of quality in industry, what is the quality systems, what is meant by quality assurance system, and what are the international standards are there to assure the quality, and what are the Indian equivalent quality systems for international standards of ISO 9000, and what is TQM, what is the philosophy of TQM, how it was used as a great tool for the Japanese industry. We will see all the things one by one in this chapter. Let us start our discussion with defining the quality. What is quality? What is quality? Generally the people think that quality is nothing but a goodness. In a common way, what the people think, quality is a goodness. But in case of corporate world, they will think in a different way. Let us see what they are thinking about the quality. See, in the corporate world, they are thinking quality of a product or service that meets its specifications and conforms to every requirement. That means here they are viewing in terms of specifications of the product or service should satisfy, and those specifications should satisfy the requirements of the customer. So in the corporate point of view, in the industry point of view, what they are thinking quality is, they should see that the product should satisfy all the specifications meant for it, and these specifications should satisfy the requirement of the people or for the customers. For them it is intended. Let us see some other definitions. What really consumer thinks? Suppose I am a consumer, I am buying a product. So in terms of in a general public, in terms of a corporate world, we have seen. Let us see as a consumer what I think, what means I will feel that it is a quality. Let us see the definition of quality in terms of consumer point of view. The consumer feels the quality is product or service. It may be product or service. So there is a quality you can expect in a product as well as in the service also. What is service? What is product? Product is tangible things. That means you can see, you can visualize, you can touch it. Whereas service is intangible thing. That means suppose when you go to a post office, what is the service you are expecting from a counter of post office? That is called service. That is, now in the developing country, what is going to happen is that 50% of gross domestic products are coming from service sectors, like post offices, banks, telecommunications, sales, communication technology, all these things. So majority of the things are service oriented. That means customers are in contact with the services also along with the products they are buying and using. So when they are using either the product or service, what they are expecting, what type of quality they are expecting from that product or service by the customer. Let us see what they are expecting, what they mean quality in their sense, customer sense. Let us see what customer think the quality of a product or service that meets their requirements. So in the corporate point of view, they thought that it should satisfy the specifications intended for the product. Whereas customer, what they are thinking, it should satisfy my requirement. Suppose I am a customer, what I will think that first when I am buying a product, when I am getting a service from anyone, that I should see that my requirement should satisfy first. That is, then I feel that it is a qualitative product. And further, what I feel that as a customer, it should satisfy my requirement as well as gives them the desired value for the price. That means it should, what is the price I have paid for it, either for the service or for the product. The price should be valued. That means I should feel that the value what I have given for the product is satisfactory for me. That means suppose I purchased a air conditioner for rupees 20,000 rupees, and what are the requirements I am getting out of that air conditioner is that I should want to feel a comfort in my house. Suppose I felt that I got the requirement, that means I fulfilled the requirements. That means that what product I purchased is satisfying my requirements. then I should feel the second point, what the customer thinks, that it's not only satisfy my requirement, he should, what is the price I have paid for it, it is a reasonable thing. In a market sense, I should feel that the price, what's the price I have invested, I am getting a reasonable value out of my investment of money, out of my price. So customer thinks that quality is that it should satisfy the requirement, and what is the price he paid, it should be reciprocatory, that means that what's the price I paid is reasonable, so that when I felt I got a reasonable value for my price and I satisfied the requirement along with the product, then I feel that it's a quality, the customer view. Okay, I have seen, okay, let us see corporate world's view, customer view, common people view. When you go through a quality experts, what they are discussing about the quality, let us see what quality experts are saying about the quality. Joseph M. Juran is a quality guru, quality expert. What he is saying about the quality? Let us see. He is saying quality as fitness for use. Fitness for use. So, it is fit for your use, then it's a quality. He is given a simple definition for quality. That is, what's the product or service you are buying should be fit for use. Then it said, then he is saying that, Juran is saying that it's a quality. And he is further saying that what is quality means the product features of the product, and the products are free from deficiencies. Both the product features and products should be free from deficiencies, should be free from any troubles. There should not be any trouble at all. That means it is fit for use. That is Joseph M. Juran saying that quality is fit for use. And let us see some others views, some experts views, some other experts views. Let us go through W. Edwards Deming's view. He is another quality expert. What is his view on the quality? Let us see. Quality, he is saying that, is to translate future needs of the user into measurable characteristics. That is, what's the needs of the user should be converted into the measurable characteristics. Suppose I have some need. What my need, that should be converted into measurable characteristics. So my need should be satisfied. Suppose I want to go in a comfortable way in my journey. So that is my need as a customer need. Suppose I am traveling in a railway, I am traveling in a bus. So what is the need of the customer? That should be converted into measurable characteristics. So he want to travel in a comfort way, without jerks, without vibrations, without road fluctuations, without vibrations from the road. So it should be converted into measurable characteristics. That means if you provide a suspension below the customer's chair or below the customer's seat, automatically you can get satisfied with your need. So he is saying that quality is to translate future needs. But it may be a present need, it may be future. What customer further want. Suppose I give suspension to buses, and the customer felt that it's go okay, and customer may feel that another need may be arises. So while he is traveling, he want to see the movie. That is another need. So what Edward Deming saying that quality is nothing but not only translating the existing needs, we should translate future needs of the customer, future needs of the user into measurable characteristics, so that a product can be designed and turned out to give satisfaction at a price that the user will pay. So what this Deming saying that, so once you are converting the needs of the customer into measurable characteristics, it's easy for you to develop a qualitative products, so that you can give it at a satisfactory value to the customer. So customer pay price with a satisfaction. So that's what Deming's observations about the quality. Let us see some other observations. What Philip B. Crosby is saying about the quality. He is saying that it should conformance to requirements. It should conform to requirements. Quality must be defined in a measurable and clearly stated terms to help the organization to take action based on the tangible targets rather than on hunch, experience and opinions. So you just see, quality must be defined in a measurable. He is also the same view like others. Should be defined in measurable and clearly stated terms. It's not like that just by opinion just by discussion, I could not say that this is a quality. How you will say the quality is just by words? It's not words, it's not a discussion, it's not an opinion, it's not an experience. The quality you should put in a measurable value, it should be in a clear stated terms. Then the customer will think that it's a quality. Then you can say that it's a quality. So what is Crosby observation is that it must be defined in a measurable and stated terms, so that organization will be helped with a tangible targets, it's a measurable values. It's not imaginary, it's not intangible. What he is saying that it's a tangible, it's a measurable, it's a stated terms, it's a clear terms. So automatically that either the corporate or the industry or the customer will feel that this is a quality, I satisfied with this quality. So quality is not just by experience or just by opinion, you cannot say it. Now let us go to the Johns Ruskin's observation about the quality. What his observation is that quality is never an accident, it is a result of an intelligent effort. Suppose you say that I have achieved the quality randomly, can you say like that? No, you cannot get the quality randomly. It's not that you are producing something, a quality at output, accidentally. It should be with your effort, it should be with your intelligent effort. It's not like that just putting effort, you will get a qualitative output. It should be intelligent effort. That means what extent you can put your effort, what logically you can put your effort. So it derives the better quality out of your efforts. So quality is never an accident. Quality is an intelligent effort. Quality is come out of intelligent effort, not by random effect, not by accidental things. Okay, let us move to some other topics, that is ISO 8402. We have seen the people's view, corporate view, consumer view, experts view. What really International Standards Organization is defining the quality. We have some international organizations are there. In the world there is an apex organization is there, that is International Standards Organization, it is there in Geneva. So what they defined about the quality? So they have given a number for it, that is ISO 8402. In the number they have defined the quality. What they have defined the quality? So quality is the totality, that is it should be added with all the things. It's a totality, it includes totality of features and characteristics of a product or services that bear on its ability to satisfy the stated and implied needs. So what is the need of the product? Not only stated needs, implied needs, the further needs. Both the stated and implied needs should be satisfied with the product features and characteristics. The totality of features and characteristics of a product should satisfy the customer's stated and implied needs. It's not a direct need, indirect need also should satisfy. What is indirect? Suppose you are using a pen. What is the direct need? So I want to write a pen with a comfortable way, free flow, easy to write, handy. What is implied need? Suppose I put a pen in my pocket, what's going to happen? Suppose it's leaking and creating a mark on my shirt. So I don't expect such kind of pen. Suppose I expect a pen should write properly and it is easy to place in my packet. It should not create any disturbance, it should not create any unwanted marks on my packet. It's an implied need. So it's not just to write, it should be easy to hold in our packet, easy to carry. These are all implied needs. So the product features and characteristics should be in a position to satisfy the stated and as well as implied needs. There is a definition given by International Standards Organization in the name of 8402. Now what is quality assurance? So we have seen quality, now let us move to some other picture. So assuring of quality assurance is a word coined somewhere else in the Second World War, that is assuring the quality is an important rather than achieving the quality. So my system is in a position to provide the qualitative output. It's not that my product is quality. Suppose your system is a qualitative system, definitely it will give qualitative product. So based on that concept, the quality assurance has been developed. Let us see what is quality assurance. Quality assurance concerns with all activities and functions to achieve quality the quality can be assumed, controlled and improved only if it can be evaluated. That is, it concerns with all the activities and functions to achieve the quality. So, quality assurance means concerns with all activities and functions, which is trying for achieving the quality. Suppose in an industry, what are the activities you will take to get a quality? What strategy you follow? What methodology you are adapting? What functions and activities you are striving, you are getting, you are doing to get a quality? These activities, these functions, you should call as a quality assurance. That is a mechanism you are adapting to see that achieving a quality of the final product. So this mechanism, these activities, what you have a quality policy, you have a quality standards, you have a checks at different points to see that at each and every stage of production I got a qualitative checks. That means these checks, these are all procedures, these procedures, activities, functions, which are striving to get a quality in the final product. All these functions and activities come under quality assurance spectrum. What this means, that is, this kind of mechanism when you adapted and incorporated in your organization or in our system, so you can proudly say that I can assure the quality. That is, I am not saying that final product is quality. I am using the system, I am using the functions, activities and adopting such a processes which is definitely make me to get a final product is a qualitative. So quality assurance is concerned with all activities and function to achieve the quality. The quality can be assumed and it can be controlled and it can be improved. So you can assume the quality, you can measure the quality, you can define the quality, you can state the quality. So it can be assumed, controlled and improved if it can be evaluated. Suppose you can evaluate, you can do all the things. Evaluation, this should be evaluation also part of the quality assurance. What quality assurance department? It has three sections. One is quality engineering and inspection and testing, auditing and monitoring. So it has three sections. Quality engineering, it strives to fix standards for quality, and inspection and testing, it's periodical and intermittent. It's not that final inspection and testing. From beginning of processing one to final process over to shape a raw material into final product. What are the process you are adopting, you are following at all the stages of processes. There should be some inspection and testing and auditing and monitoring. That means auditing is a different technique. That is, what you are following is right or wrong. Suppose I thought that this principle is right to check a product quality. What is audit? Is that principle is right or wrong? That is auditing. That means adopting procedures and adopting a formula and adopting a activities, functions to achieve the quality is one thing. Is such procedures, is such activities is right or wrong? Should I change periodically? Should I change timely? That is, there should be requirements of going and changing for the people. People are not expecting the same requirement after the product. They are requiring something more. Suppose people, what the present day people are expecting from a train, what the present people are expecting from a TV, what present people are expecting from a VCD is different from, let us say, in 2000 what the people are expected from the TV. So in such cases, there should be what you adopted a procedure and activities is such that it is going to assuring the quality. It is not like that. Not only you should inspect and test, and these inspection and testing procedures should be audited and monitored. Is going well, suppose your procedure is right, okay, then is you are implementing the procedure properly or not, that is also you should take care of. So that is what you call auditing and monitoring. So quality specification, inspection and testing and auditing and monitoring, these three are the important areas which taken care to assure the quality in an industry. What is the basic objective? Let us say we have discussed what is finally you want to achieve out of the quality assurance. What is the end goal, end objective for your quality assurance system? My end objective or industry end objective. Suppose my industry is adopting the quality assurance system. What is the end objective of the industry? The end objective is to maintain necessary standards. That is necessary. It's not that standards. What necessary standards of the quality it requires, that should be maintained. That is the end objective of the quality assurance system. Now come to what are the important components of quality assurance system. We will see in a pointed way what are the components required in a quality assurance system. Developing personnel with training and skills. So you should develop your personnel with proper training and skills, that they should work with your defined procedures, with your defined laid down specifications. So for it you need to give the train and provide the necessary skill to your people, so that they can work according to your spectrum, according to your laid down design, and monitoring the quality assurance programs of suppliers. Suppose I am industry, I have industry, I am getting a raw material out of some other industry. I should see that what is the quality assurance mechanism they are following, the suppliers, what the suppliers is they are giving is a quality. First I should ensure that. That means if I got a qualitative raw material, I can mold it into a qualitative product. Suppose my raw material what I am receiving from the supplier is a bad, it is not a conforming to the requirements, then in such case can I expect a quality product out of it? No. So my quality assurance mechanism should take care that is my supplier is following the quality assurance system. So from whom I am getting the raw material, where I am getting the raw material is, suppose for the person he is giving raw material to me, that person is following the quality assurance or not, that also I should take care of it. Next, checking the accuracy of test and measuring equipment. Suppose I want to check they are following the quality, how you will check it? So can I, with visible eye, can I say that it's a qualitative? No, I should say it's a qualitative. I should not say like that, it's a qualitative. How I can ensure that it's a quality raw material I have received? I should check with some instruments, measurements, devices. Is the devices working properly? What the devices is a sensitive to measure the characteristics of the products, characteristics of the raw material? That I should see that, so that I can see that incoming raw material is qualitative. And evaluating and controlling the quality of the product in the field. So my people are ready with training and skills. So I ensure the supplier who is supplying the raw material having the quality assurance mechanism. And what I received, I felt, I tested with good instruments, measuring devices. Now what should I do next? Evaluating and controlling the quality of the product in the field. That means raw material is going in the line, queue, along in our process, along in our workstations. Now I should evaluate and control the quality, evaluation and controlling. I should see the evaluation is, I am getting evaluation. What does mean evaluation? I want to check at every stage, in the field, in the processing stage, I want to evaluate is I am getting the quality or not, and controlling. Suppose I felt it's not, in my evaluation I felt that it's not up to the mark, what I should do? I should control it. Evaluating and controlling the quality of the product in the field, and establishing a feedback link, planning and controlling the product quality, conducting the special quality studies. These are all, that means once you evaluated and felt that I need some control mechanism, that means what action you should take. Suppose you are thinking that your process is not going according to the stipulated ways, there should be a feedback. I felt that, that means with feedback when I felt that, immediately I should take a corrective action to see that the things should go in a proper way. At every stage there should be evaluation, control and monitoring, so that I can take a feedback action and get a qualitative output. These are all spectrum, you call the beginning from this. I am saying that a system should be qualitative. The system, the industry, the people, the organization, they are providing the products, they are providing the service to the people, customers. What they are providing, the strategy they are following to provide the service and provide the product, the sequence of strategies, the sequence of operations, activities, functions should be qualitative, should be properly designed. These are all comes under quality assurance. Now let us move to an important concept of the present day discussion is what is ISO 9000 standard. ISO is a Greek word. ISOS, it means equal. ISOS means equal. How you will pronounce ISOS? Pronunciation is ISOS. ISOS you should pronounce as ISOS. H you should pronounce as SOS. ISOs. From that word, Greek word, this ISO has been coined in English. It's nothing but a standards, international standards organization. What is ISO 9000? Okay, we have seen what is ISO. Now let us move to what is ISO 9000. ISO 9000 is among ISO's most widely known standards ever, and ISO 9000 standards are implemented by some 6,34,000 organizations in 152 countries. So out of many standards released by International Standards Organization, it is the most familiar standard is ISO 9000. You know how many people are using these standards, how many people want ready to adopt it, how many people want to get benefit out of it? You see 6,34,000 organizations, almost all globally people are running to get this kind of concepts into their organization, to adopt these kind of concepts into their organizations. In 152 countries, it's almost a global standard. Even it's a international organization, if they declare it's a standard, once the corporates, organizations, industries are ready to accept this is a standard, this is right for me, then only you can call it a global standard. It's ISO 9000 is not just coined by the International Standards Organization. It has been received all the people, all the organizations throughout the world, the major industries, has become a wide standards. It should be a remarkable, what you call revolution, I can say, in the field of quality assurance in the entire world. Let us see what is ISO 9000. Let us continue further. ISO 9000 has become an international reference. It's an international reference for quality management requirements in business to business dealings. Suppose business to business, that is, previously I said I am receiving the material from some other industry. What there in such case, what I have seen is the person supplying the raw material to me, is they following proper quality standards or not. I have checked. That means just before receiving the material from other industry, what I am ensuring that they are following the quality assurance mechanism. So otherwise what I can say, if they are following the ISO 9000 standards, it is a symbol for me that they are following quality assurance mechanism, that is all. Instead of looking into their quality processes, their quality process, instead of looking into their evaluation mechanism, what I will simply say that is they are following ISO 9000 standard. So suppose I am a person is purchasing raw material from other industry. Suppose I am a person is supplying product to customer. In such case, what customer should see? Can customer should come to my industry, can check all the things, I am following all the quality measures? No, he cannot see all the things. Being suppose I am an industry, I can go check other industry. But a customer is spread over all the world, all the country. Can he come to my industry and see that all quality assurance mechanism and process I am going to adopt? No, it is difficult for the customer. In such case, how the customer should ensure that I am following the quality assurance mechanism? For it, there should be some difference should be there. That is what you call ISO 9000, either for the business to business, either for the business to the customer. So ISO 9000 has become an international reference, a widely accepted reference that they are following the quality assurance. Now, who is the IOS or ISO? I can say IOS or ISO. It's a, what I can say, we can use as a similar words also. International Organization for Standardization. It is formed in Geneva, Switzerland country in 1946. Almost all major countries are the members of the International Organization for Standardization, and around 800 and plus new and revised standards are issued annually by International Standards Organization. It may be new or revised. Now, there is a one committee which is a basic foundation for developing ISO 9000. What's the committee? You call it TC 176. Normally you can refer in any international magazine or management magazine, you will be coined, you can come across with TC 176. What is TC 176? TC 176 is a one technical committee formed by International Standards Organization. They developed some standards related to quality assurance mechanisms. That means, suppose you are following a quality assurance, that means you will be given a title that it is a ISO 9000 certified company. That means, in order to get such a certification, what kinds of procedures you should follow, the industry should follow. This was developed by one committee. These are all procedures was developed by one committee. The committee has been called as Technical Committee TC 176 in International Standards Organization. It is responsible for quality standards creation, and the members of TC 176 are ANSI, SSC and BSI. What is ANSI? It's American National Standards Institutions, an apex institution of USA. Apex National Standards Institution of USA. And SSC, Standards Council of Canada. British Standards Institution, BSI. Now you see a continual improvement of the quality management system. This is a model for process approach. Here the customer with satisfaction, here the customer with requirements. So customer is with requirements, how you will satisfy the customer? You see here there is a model to develop which is striving to achieve the quality in your organization. Say continual improvement of the quality management system. So here I have the system, I am improving the system of what adapting the quality management system, I am improving it, continuous improvement. How it is happened? The model is, you see, the requirements of the customer has been taken as an input and it was realized as a product, and then it is measurement and analysis and improvement. It has been converted into a final product and goes to the customer. That means, you see, so requirements converted into product and went to the customer. Okay, customer satisfied. I have seen the requirements, the needs of the customer has been converted into the product, I supplied the product to the customer. Okay, satisfied. Is it sufficient? No, it is not sufficient. So converting the requirement of as taking input for product realization and giving as a product output to the customer, it is not simple that you are following a quality management system. Suppose you are following a quality management system, you should have a continuous improvement. What should it should add value to your product, add value to your product. You should add value to product everywhere, every time. So once I am offering a service to a customer, can I say that okay, it's right? No, I should see that how best I can give more services to the customer. I should see that I should add value to my product and services. How best I can do? Just converting the input into product and giving back to the customer, it's not like that. So the product realization have its own cycle. You see here, is a product you should measure, analyze, improvement, there is a scope is there or not. It is the management responsibility, and management should provide resources to see that the product realization is going to be added with value and value and value. It may be product or service. Further, I am adding a value to the product and services to see the customer is going to be satisfied more. And this is, you can see, a PDCA cycle has been given by Deming. The essence of ISO 9000 system is based on the PDCA cycle, is a trial and learning event that emphasizes learning by sequentially testing and changes on a small scale. This is the basic essence of ISO 9001:2000. You see, plan, do, check, act. What you want to do, you should plan and do it properly according to the plan, and check you are doing properly according to the plan or not, and if so, okay, you continue it. If not so, you see that how you can modify the way of doing the things. So PDCA, you call it a plan, do, check. Instead of check, now they are using another word, study. It's not checking, you should study. So previously in our books we can see it's a PDCA cycle. Now it has been converted as a PDSA cycle. Of course both are same, checking and study. There may be little difference between checking and study. Checking just checks it. Studying is not just checks. So it tells more than checking. So this is the variation in the process. How you can reduce this variation, that comes under study. Whereas checking, it tells only this is the variation. So PDSA, plan, do, study and act. This is the basic essence. That means plan it, do according to the plan, and check your planning is going to execute it properly or not. If so, you can implement it. If not so, take a corrective action to see that your plan is going to be validated. This is the basic essence of PDCA and PDSA, I can say, are essence for ISO 9000. Now see PDCA cycle, the possible changes: plan, do, check, act. You do further. It's not that I did one time, I have done planning, doing, checking, acting. Okay, no, it's not like that. It's a continuous process. The possible changes, you are adding value to the system so that you can get improvement in the system. So how to achieve the quality? The classical approach is inspect unit and removing the defects. Inspection is the classical approach. No, it's not like that. Inspection what gives? It's not gives quality. Inspection is not like that. The system itself should in a position to correct the deviation. It's not that one should inspect and point that you are deviating the quality. The system itself, it should understand what's the deviation and correct itself while the things are going. What is the today's approach to achieve the quality? Build it in the processes that create product and services which are defect preventive and continuous process improvement. What I have given the previous cycle, a continuous process improvement. The product realization is not just converting of the customer requirement into the customer satisfactory things. It should have some continuous process improvement. So it can reduce the variability of the product or product deviations or product characteristics. Now let us see the theoretical framework relating to the quality and performance. Suppose you achieve the quality, your quality is conformance to requirements. Okay, you can reduce the cost of the poor quality and it is increases the profit. So you are conforming to the requirements, automatically there is no rework, no repair, increases productivity, it increases the reduces the cost, increases the productivity, reduces the cost, increases the profit. You see, the quality meets the customer requirements, customer expectations. If it is meeting the customer expectations, it avoids the customer dissatisfaction, it leads to customer satisfaction, it increases your market potentiality, increases the profit. Suppose your quality exceeds the customer expectation, what is going to happen? Directly you can satisfy the customer, increase the market volume of sales and you can increase the profit. Suppose your quality is superior to competitors, in such case you can get a reputation, more market, premium prices, you can sell it at higher prices, premium prices, extraordinary profits. So this all quality achieving is not that just for giving to the customer. These are all gives a reputation, profits, reduction in the cost. These are all leads to advantage to the industry. It's not that I am giving a quality means I have done something great for the customer. It's a great for you, it's a getting a reputation for the organization. It is getting profits for the organization. It is reducing the cost of poor quality. What is the cost of poor quality? Just tangible, just by seeing, suppose you have maintaining poor quality, let us think that I felt that why should give quality to the product, why should give quality product to the customer? In such case, what are the cost of poor quality? You see, in such cases, the people reject the product, it will come back for inspection, scrap, rework, number of times I should work on the same because it is non-quality, it is not conforming to the requirements, it is not fit for proper usage. This is tangible, you just see that these are the basic cost of poor quality. Whereas lost opportunities, intangible, you cannot see, cannot visualize. What are the things? You see all these are all cost of poor quality, additional cost of poor quality, engineering change orders, long cycle time, more setups, expediting the cost, lost sales, late delivery, lost customer loyalty, excess inventory. Suppose tangible is 48%, whereas intangible is 25 to 35%. So more loss to you, that organization, that is providing the quality product to the customer is not to giving the service to the customer, is to serve your own industries. It satisfy the customer, get the profit. It is a survival of the industry, it is not that serving the customer. Today you are not serving the customer, you are not going to be served out. You will not be on the stage of running, you will be having a more cost to bear, it is a cost of poor quality. Now evaluation of how this ISO 9000 has been evaluated. So industrial revolution, industries are going and going, more volume production, need for conformity, and I want to get a good out of the bad. These are all causes for ISO 9000. And in the World War, they want to see more standards to be generated, need for interchangeability, inspection inadequate. And how this ISO 9000 has been formed. Initially in the 1972-73, UK Defence Standards has been meant for this quality assurance system. Later on that this BS, that is British Standards 5179 1974, British Standards 5750 1979, and later on the Technical Committee 176 ISO 1983 is the beginning of this revolution. Before to that there is some British standards are there, which are meant for quality standards, which are meant for quality assurance of the system. And ISO 9000 1997 has been first released in the 1997, and it is updated in the 1994 and revised in December 2000. And this is the ISO standards generation process. There is a process is there. The working group will develop the standards and will be sent to the committee, subcommittee, and they will put a ballots and they will see is going to be approved or not approved. If not approved, what is the reasons, and if approved, with the necessary modifications, and they will generate a draft international standard you call as a DIS status, and it will be sent to the all national standards bodies, all government bodies, national standard bodies. More improvements will be necessary if positive ballots do not exceed the 67%. If majority 67% of standards institutions are accepted, more than 67% are accepted, this will be an international standard. If less than 67% of the country's standards organizations are not accepted, it will be further revised. So release of international standard based on this procedure. Now you see what is the ISO 9000 definition of quality. So here we will go a degree to which a set of inherent characteristics fulfill the requirements. We have discussed more about this quality and what is quality management according to ISO 9000. So it's a coordinated activities to direct and control an organization with regard to quality. It's a strategic planning, policy, and defining the execution of policy implementation comes under the quality management. So it is more elaborately given in ISO 9000 rather than we have discussed. The same thing has been given in a proper phrases in the ISO 9000. What is quality system according to ISO 9000? It is a management system. Quality system is nothing but a management system. The people, the corporate people, they want to adopt this system, management system, to direct and control an organization with regard to quality. ISO 9000 an overview of 1994 standards. There is ISO 9000 is an overview, and 9001 is important thing, is a quality system, model for quality assurance. Its 9001 will be given to such industries that they are following quality assurance in design, development, production, installation and servicing. If they are giving assuring the quality, you see here very important thing, that suppose my industry is certified with 9001, what does it mean? 9001 gives an idea that I am assuring to the customer to whom I am supplying the raw material, I am assuming to that person that my design is quality 2, my development is quality 2, my production is quality 2, my installation is quality 2, and post sales, servicing, I can do the servicing also quality 2. You see the entire spectrum of producing the product and sending to the customer, that is design, development, production, installation and servicing, these are all quality 2. That model is called 9001. Suppose a model for quality assurance in production, installation, servicing comes under 9002, and model for final inspection and testing comes under 9003, a model for internal quality and for designing and manufacturing comes under 9004. What are the Indian equivalent standards for ISO 9000? So Indian equivalent standards for ISO 8402 is IS 13999, 9000, 14000. For ISO 9001 it is IS 14001. For ISO 9002 it is IS 14002. The respectively it has been ISO means International Standards Organization, IS means Indian standards. We are adopted as it is word by word. Even America also adopted word by word the international standards, but just we have given a number, a separate number for it. So we have the same definitions in ISO 9001. What is product, what is tender, what is contract. Let us move further. What are the major changes has been taken place in 2000 in ISO 9000? So it is some of the family standards has been introduced. Here it is 9000, 9001, 9004 and 19011. Sorry, 19011. Now what is the major changes happened taken place in ISO 9000 2000? It eliminated 9002, 9003, only 9001 with permissible exclusions, and essentiality 5 groups of requirements. Those groups of requirements are quality systems, management responsibility, resources, product realization, measurement analysis and improvement. I have discussed with a block diagram, product realization, measurement analysis and improvement, resources, management responsibility, these are all part of the quality system. Based on these 5 aspects, quality system should include all the things, management responsibility, resources, product realization, measurement analysis and improvement. Now come to ISO 9000 2000. it is, there is no big deal in 1994, whereas 2000 is a big deal. It has been given for 3 years and should take more time to get ISO 9000 certification. What are the components of ISO 9001:2000? Quality management system, management responsibility, resource management, product realization, measurement analysis and improvement. These are the 5 major components of ISO 9000:2000. What is quality management system? Should have satisfy the general requirement and document requirements. The management responsibility should have a commitment, management commitment, quality policy, planning, responsibility, authority and communication, management review. Resource management. What are the points in resources management of ISO 9001:2000? Provision of resources, human resources, infrastructure, work environment. These 4 should be there in the resources management, which is going to be realizing the product in a qualitative way. What is product realization? Planning of product realization. How to convert the people's needs into the product. Planning of product realization, customer related processes, design and development, purchasing, production and service provision, control of monitoring and measuring devices comes under product realization. And measurement analysis and improvement, what are the things are there part of measurement analysis and improvement? General requirements, monitoring and measurement, control of non-conforming product, analysis of data, improvement, and phases of development, maintenance of cost. Let us see planning, development, implementation, registration, maintenance. How you will implement the ISO 9000? There should be organization checkpoints. We have discussed there should be checkpoints, organization checkpoints, implementation checkpoints. I have given the points here. Implementation checkpoints for other. Now, is it truly global? Yes, definitely. It helps to facilitate the free flow trade in European community. And not only in EC, international markets becoming more close, they want to really need a global standards, both the governments or corporates. They want to adopt nearly 91 countries, they have adopted word by word ISO 9000. It is rapidly becoming the most popular quality standard in the world. Thousands of organizations really adopted ISO 9000 applies to all types of organizations. So definitely it's a global. What's the benefits of ISO 9000? Better management, these are all internal benefits. How it is benefit to the industry? Better management of core business process, increased awareness of quality among the staff, improved productivity and quality, improved internal communication, reduced cost of quality. External benefits of ISO 9000. Improved customer satisfaction, you can satisfy the customer. Higher perceived quality by marketplace. Quicker time to the market, and you can easily push the product to the customer. Quicker time to the market new products. Marketing the new products. Enhancing the competitive edge, increase the market share. How, why to obtain the certification? Because you want to do business worldwide, get a reputation, complete system of quality management you want to adopt, a competitive advantage should follow, excellent marketing tool for, these are all needs for adopting the quality system ISO 9000. Quality system maintenance, let us see, we will conclude with a little definition on TQM. What is TQM? So TQM is a quality involves everyone, all activities in the company is called totality. Conformance to requirements, management, quality can and must be managed. We will give convert into a definition, good definition. A process for managing quality, it must be a continuous way of life, a philosophy of perpetual improvement in everything we do. One more definition, let us conclude here with this definition. A management approach to an organization centered on quality based on participation of all the members and aiming at long-term success through customer satisfaction and benefits to the members of the organization and to the society. You see, TQM has been adopted in 1950 by the Japanese. Long-term success by involving all the people. You see how the Japan has been succeeded? They want to involve all their labor, all the workers. You see, in the Japanese industry, who is going to give the right definition to the quality? Not the top manager. The bottom person, the person working with the machinery, can give a proper definition for the quality of their product. So they molded their industry in such a way that they have participated all the members in striving the quality. So TQM is a basic foundation which is striving to develop a quality system. So with this we can conclude that ISO 9000 is an international reference to say that your organization is following a quality standards. It's not a product standard. It's a standard about that your organization is following the quality standards. Your organization is ensuring the quality. You are ensuring the quality in design stage, development stage, all the stages. Based on that, in which stage you are ensuring the quality, you can take the certification of ISO 9000. And tweaking is a philosophy. It is more than ISO 9000, really adopted by Japanese in 1950. This ISO 9000 has taken place in West country in 1994 and 2000, whereas in 1950, Japanese has followed the TQM. Participation of all the people in industry from top to bottom to strive and to achieve the quality. So with this I can say that quality assurance mechanism, which is definitely provide a qualitative output which serves the customer as well as serves the industry. And TQM is a basic tool and which is adopted by the Japanese, has been shown to the world as a great example for striving the quality. Thank you, students.